Philip again, and welcome back to our short course for Shopify Hydrogen 2.0 Plus Remix. In this video, we're going to take up the next section 6 for adding animation to your Hydrogen app. And to have these features, this requires us to install a third-party module called Frame Motion. Although you can find other popular animation libraries, but in this video, I will introduce the easiest way in adding animation to your app. If you're not familiar with this module, please visit this link, framer.com. And in this demonstration, we are going to apply the motion framer in adding a progress bar when scrolling. The second one is we're going to add an animation into our product swim lane section. And lastly, we're going to add animation entrance when scrolling down to every section. So if you try to look at in the screen, if I were going to scroll, you will see that there is a progress bar at the top of our header. And the second one will be this product swim lane. So if I were going to switch to a different category, if you look at the underline, it will animated goes down to the other category. And at the same time, there is a pop-up effects when this use state will be changed in a different products belongs to that particular category. And the last one will be the section and animation effects, where if we're going to scroll, there will be probably we can add an opacity or translate X that we can see how these effects will really works. So I think without any further delay, let's go ahead and I will going to show you how we can easily add an animation to our existing hydrogen app. Okay, so let's go ahead and opening to our VS Code, and what we're gonna do here, we're going to apply the progress bar to our header. But before that, I think we must look at what we have done so far from our previous session. And if you are going to look at in the git or git indicator, we have a modified files. I think there are 4, and there is another new files added, which is untracked. So there is a short way how we can add this all of these changes by typing git add dot, and then you can add the commit messages, like we're gonna say added new upsell functionality. Okay, now let's go back to our main branch. I think what we had, I think is a master. So we're gonna say get checkout master, and then we're gonna merge those changes that we done in our uh, branch for create upsell item. So get merge create upsell item. Now it is added automatically. And then I think the one thing I think we have to try to get fence. Okay, I think that's it. And now let's go create a new one for our new features for animation. So we're gonna say check out that's B, then let's say uh, adding animation. Okay, so let's try to look at in our resource page for the framer.com, and we're going to add this scroll effects. So it is already provided a few samples, like if we're going to scroll this up, I think what we're gonna do here, oh no, I think this is not animation scroll here. Okay, so here if we're going to scroll, you see that there is a progress bar at the top. So we're gonna copy this effects and how we can apply it in our existing hydrogen app. So let's go ahead in our hydrogen, and now we're going to install this module by typing npm install framer motion. And I think this might take a little bit, maybe about 1 minute or 2. So I think I'm gonna pause this video and let's come back at later. Okay, I think it's done, and now we are ready to start in adding a progress bar in our header. So what we're gonna look at here, I think it's on our components and probably the layout tsx, and I think the header should be here. Okay, so I think we have the announcement bar. Then at the top of that, we're going to add a new component. So what we're gonna do with this is we are going to create a new component. Probably we can name it as a progress, maybe probably scroll. progress bar. Okay, so let's go here, and probably I will add it in the component custom components folder. So here I'm gonna add an component, gonna name it scroll progress bar .tsx, and here we can say export, oh, constant, then what is a scroll progress bar, and then arrow function, and here we can say return. Then here we're gonna export this. I think probably we're gonna add an elements within. We say div class. So we're going to add our own personalized class name instead of tailwind. We are going to do with it with our own definition in our stylus. I'm gonna say export default, then scroll progress bar. Save. I think we have to run this up first. And while waiting, I think we are going to import this new component to our layout. So what we have to do here, we're going to call that new component. If it's already visible, we're going to say scroll progress bar. So it's here, just like that. And we're going to try to save. And then go back here. So I think we're going to import this new module added to our app. So import, I think if you're looking back to our resource, so we can just copy this and then go back to your component. Oops, what's wrong? Go back here. Why it's not copying properly? All right, I think that's it. Now what does it say? You're gonna open this preview. What's that it say here? Okay, you're gonna add a constant variable. It goes to the within the, oh sorry, why I could not copy properly. Just copy that and then go back here, save. And then we are going to copy this as well. So let's go back and then just like that. Oops, fragment. Okay, there's something wrong with my keyboard. Okay, so let's try to look at in our app, and you will never see yet what is going on with that. So I think we have to add a custom stylus to our progress bar, but we're gonna try to inspect if it's already visible. I'm gonna try to look at here what we name it as above on the header. Open this. Why it's not, it is not okay. So I think I forgot to, I was removing the class name. So I'm gonna say class, sorry, class name, then progress bar. Say scroll progress bar. Save. Go back to our inspect, and we're gonna inspect this, and it's here. So I'm gonna copy that, and I will going to add a custom definition to my stylus. So where's that? The style we have here. Okay, up. Okay, so we're gonna try to add our own file for customization. So we're gonna here style. Then what we're gonna do is to add a new file over here. I'm gonna say custom style.css, and then we're going to define that new class. And I think what we have is we're going to create a position. We are going to add a position aspects. then top 0, or we're gonna try right away on the inspector. Let's see, like that, and then what's wrong with my browser? Okay, here seems like okay. Thank you. This skill. Okay, gonna say position, fix, and then top 0, still not, left 0, right 0. You're gonna add height, let's say 4px. It's not yet visible. Background, the light blue. Okay. You're gonna add transform origin from 0%, and then z index 999. Probably it's not applying yet because we did not scroll. All right, so you see, now it is now visible. So I think that's the first thing. We are going to add this, all of this definition down to our custom style. Let's go back to our VS Code and paste it here. Save. Now it will not automatically applies because this file is not yet added to our header. And what is the next steps is to go to the root, and here we are going to add that file. So what I'm gonna do this here, let's say we're going to import that file here. I'm gonna say import, say custom stylus from our dot folder component, should be stylus slash custom style, and here we're going to add that copy, just copy to make it more faster. And then here we're going to say custom stylus. Save. And let's try to look at in our preview if it's already applied. Scroll. Okay, so I think this is working pretty much. So now I think this is done. Now we are about to add the animation into our product swim lane, and I think we need another resource for that in adding that animation effects in our sections. So here is one good example of adding an underline animation to our tab selector. So we're gonna look at in our product swim lane. You say that we have uses an underline just to let the user know that what exactly the category it's currently active. So like for example with that, so I want this something like this kind of effect that the underline will goes to the right side, that there is a motion added to that. So what we're gonna do here, first we are going to look at where we are going to place that animation. So in our folders, we need to look at in our component, the product swim lane. And if you see here, previously, the current setup is we used to have underline. So we're gonna remove this, and we are going to replace that with a different definition to our product swim lane category. So here, what we should do, I'm gonna remove this first. I think we don't need this anymore. Just remove that. Then same way with that. Okay, save. And then the next steps is to add in our text content, say like that. So probably we're going to add the underline after the premium or the text line. So I think I have to create an use state. A use state, I think I need to define a constant here. Like I'm gonna say selected tab, then set selected tab, and then say use state, and then we're gonna set initial, something like that, initial as a string. Oops, a string. Then I think we are going to apply this use state down to our text line in each of the category. So I have to add a condition here. You can see selected tab, if it's equal to premium, then, or probably it's because we set as initial, so this is the default selected tab when our site are in a first glance of opening to our site. You can say initial, then I'm gonna say, because I need an if else statement, I'm gonna use question mark, then open parenthesis, then add your new component here. So I think we need to import the motion effects. So I think we're gonna type motion. It's not visible, so we're gonna add it manually here. Say import motion, then from our third-party library for the animation, and goes here down the div, then class. I think we need to define our own class name underline. Then I think in the example, I think we don't need that other ID attribute. So we're gonna try this. Then here else, then it should be null. I think we're gonna do null. It should be null. It's the same way what we have to do in our other button. Then just paste it. And here we're going to replace this with sport. So sport. Then the other one, same way. Then here I'm gonna say, I'm gonna copy that like this. Or I think I don't need this or statement because this is only for the first active tab. Then I think that's it. Save. And now we are going to define our custom CSS. But before that, we're gonna try to preview what will be the display, the result of that changes. Okay, so there is an underline. Still there is an underline. We're gonna inspect how it was added, the underline here. Okay, I think the problem is that it's not saved. Hold on. Underline. Okay. So I think the underline still existing because in every time we're going to change the tab, it will uh, execute this line, set param tag. So I think we're gonna remove this and just simply replace this with our set selected tab. So here I think what I have to do with this, I think this is not longer applicable. So we're gonna do remove that. Then we're gonna say set selected tab. Then what would be the value for this selected tab? Let's say target, then text content, save. And then what will be the other? Okay, so I think that is fine. We're gonna say save again. Okay, let's try. So what will be the objective here? So once it is clicked, and it will call this function, and every time if there is a click event, it will replace what will be the text content within this button. So if it is replaced and the use state will tell the app that there is a changes on my part, then it will also automatically put it into a condition that if this selected tab is equal to premium, then it will automatically add this motion dev class underline. And I'm gonna save that. I think it's already saved. So let's try to go back in our preview app, and if we're going to click, so you see it that there is no longer underline added automatically to our category tab. So probably it's already there, but there is a missing definition to our CSS. Okay, so if you see here, you see that it's already added this element. If I were going to switch to a sport, now it's gone into this premium, and it is now added in the sport category. So we're gonna define this underline, and just to look at how this will be displayed. All right, so here I think we can simply add a definition to our underline. Let's say, okay, first I think if we're going to use the position absolute, and the bottom will be maybe -1 px, and then left 0, then right 0, height will be 1 px, background we're gonna say uh, something like a good indication that it is background color is a blue or red or say black. Okay, now you say that the underline was here, so because we used to have a position absolute, so what we're gonna do in our parent container, this is a child, so when you are going to apply a position absolute, you must declare or define the parent container as position say relative, and now it will added, I mean it was changed that the underline should be only occupy in the parent container, so that will be the purpose. So how we are going to do this, I think I need to take this category, add this category, and define it in our custom style. So here we're gonna do here like collection category. Next is the button. So in every collection category there is a buttons. So I think what I have to do here, we're gonna say button like that. Then we say position relative, and the other one is the underline. Underline. Say under. What is that particular definition? Underline. Then position absolute, bottom -px, then left 0, then right 0. I think we already defined this, but anyway we're gonna type it manually here. Right, 1 px, then background color, say black. Save, and let's try to look at in our preview. All right, so it is initially we set our use state. If you look at in the use state, oh sorry, in product swim lane, our initial value is selected tab is initial, so I just declared it here. If not a premium or selected tab is initial, then it will add this underline border to this button. So that is the objective, and now we are going to select another category. Okay, it seems like the animation was not I mean it's not taking into a proper animated. Hold on. I think there is another missing. Okay, so what's the missing is I think we need to add a unique identification in each of this motion container. I mean the motion element. So what I have to do here, we're going to add layout ID is equal to underline. Underline. And just copy that and put it in our other element and save. And let's go back to our preview, and if we're going to switch to another category, and you see that the underline is there is slow effects, or I mean it's a little delay when it's switching to that a different other category. So now I think what we need to do here is we're going to add an animation to our each of the container. So there is a rule in applying this animation that probably we're gonna open the sample to this pre-motion. So this is the sample, and now if you see that the effects is automatically applies on this container, but in our situation, in our requirements here, I think we could not easily done that because we are using another third-party module, which is the swiper. So if you are going to look at in our product swim lane, we used to have another module, a third-party module, which is the swiper. And we are not applicable to apply the motion in two different modules. So what I'm gonna do with this, we're going to just apply the motion effects in our product card. So we're gonna try to look at the product card, and here this is the product card, and what we have here, there is a container. So we're gonna apply that effects down to this container. So I think the next steps is to import that motion module in this components. We're gonna say import the same way motion, and from framer dot motion. Save. And in this container, we are going to add a motion, say like this, a motion selector, motion dot, then down to this, say motion close, motion should be close, and then save. And we are going to apply a parameter or a definition into this container for motion effects. So here we just add an initial parameter. When you say initial, this parameter you can find it as a sample in our uh, resource site for this primer. Say city 0, then scale say 0.5, then animation effects, and the opacity 1, scale 1. If you try to look at the parameters in each of the definition, you can just try to look at the sample like here. Say where is that? In this up, something like this. So in our case, we need to define it like the same way. And here you're gonna add transition, then here there's duration. What will be the duration with that? Maybe delayed, the delayed 0.03 delayed, then AC parameter, AC say 0, then 0.71, 0.2, then 1.01. I think we miss this comma. Next is the scale, and type the spring, then dumping 5, stiffness 100, then rest delta will be 0.001. Let's try to save, and let's go back to our product swim lane. All right, now it is applying this effect. We're gonna switch to different category. If you find that there is only few items added as animation, because in use state there is only one item found that can be changed. So what we have to do here, we're going to refresh each of, anytime if we're going to switch to a different category, we're going to remove the existing values, so it will be more easier. The animation can find, or I mean the use state will be cleared before it will be added this item to our section. So here what we're gonna do, let's go back to our product swim lane, and I think in the statement of the set parameter functions, we have to clear uh, the product category to an empty array, something like that. So if you say here in the use state, you set that this product category will be the one to hold those product, and every time if there's a changes in our category. So we're gonna just clear that first, then it will replace once it is found that there is a new items added to that product category. I'm gonna save that all. Then let's try to look at the preview. So if we're going to switch to sport, now you see that it is refreshing all of that items. Okay, so I think that's it. Then we are going to move for another animation. Like if we're going to scroll in every section, there is an entrance animation to be added. But this is just only an example and how you are going to apply in your own hydrogen app. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is to add this animation in every section. When we're going to scroll, there will be an animated effects that we can apply. So in this demonstration, I will going to add a translation to this header title. So I think the first steps is we are going to import another property from the framer motion, which is what we call use in view. And in this uh, property, I think we need to use a ref. So I think what we're gonna do here, we're gonna use a ref element that we can assign to our section. So here, what I think is we are going to add a constant value, a variable like ref, and then use ref from React. Click this, then initially I will set this as null as any, and then the next is constant is in view is equal to use in view, and then we have to call the ref for our argument, then a variable once, so we just animate this as once true, then that's it. Then the next steps, we are going to add this section as our reference. Is a ref prompts, then call that constant variable as ref. Then we are going to apply the animation effects in this h2 element, and move that in the next line. And here we're going to add an inline stylist, and say style, then bracket again, then in the bracket is a transform parameter, say is in view, then say none. Then we're going to start from the translation from uh, x translate x, I'm gonna say negative 300 from the left side, and then we're going to add opacity. So is in view, if it is true, then opacity will be 0 or visible. The next is transition. Transition will be for all animation, like you know, say delay for it's almost 1 second. We're gonna say 1 second. Then say I will add a property define cubic bezier. Then say 0.17, and then 0.5, then 0.55, then 1, then 0.5 seconds. Try to save, and let's go back to our preview. And if we are going to scroll, I would expect that the animation for that header will be from the left side goes to the center. What we're gonna do here, I think it is not reflecting. Inspect. Okay, so it's in here. It seems like it is not working. We're gonna refresh back. Okay, it seems like this is not working. Okay, so there is no immediate effect when we are going to use the ref goes to this component, because this component is being defined as a global definition to that particular component. So we're gonna look at where is it. So this section is located where in the component folder. So let's start to look at the section here. It should be somewhere here, like, and we try to dig further where this section component is located. So it's somewhere here in the component index, and we're going to look at the index, and here there is a section, and it is belong to this component text. I'm gonna try to the text. Here we are. So this is the text exported component, the heading, and the section. Now product swim lane. So probably I will just replace this as a normal HTML tag. Save. And then here I'm gonna say section. Save. And if we're going to look at the preview now, all right. So you see that there's animated effects. I'm gonna refresh. So if I were going to scroll, then so I will be expecting that this will be coming from here. Say refresh. All right. So I think that's it. And if you have some things need to clarify, then you can just comment this video, and hoping we're gonna see each other. And thank you for your time. And I think we're looking forward for another session in need time this week. And hoping see each other again. Bye for now.